So we've got James Combrink versus Miguel Langan in our feature match area today. And they've already started, I believe,
Yeah,
little bit
but
quick.
bit too hasty.
Nothing has haste here.
You think nothing has haste.
Sure, James is on. What is he playing?
He's playing Jeskai control, I believe.
Sure,
Without
illegible deck
looking at his
list.
eligible deck list, he is probably playing
Yeah, sure.
Jeskai
It's,
control.
it's
Because
definitely
I
on
see
Jeskai.
Dynavolt Tower.
Sure. So it's Jeskai Dynavolt. That's how many copies?
He's
Full
playing two
full.
copies
Okay,
of
two.
Dynavolt
Not
Tower.
quite just the Dynavolt deck. Lots of removal,
He has
card
Gyalks, so
selection.
that was a pretty good torrential Gyalk, that is. Honest Lightning, Galvanic Bombardment. So it's a typical Jeskai control deck, basically.
Yeah. Gallon, good old red green energy is just interested in coming in under his opponent and dealing them 20 before they really have a chance to get anything going.
It's the Pummeler version, which is probably going to pummel.
Pummeler just
Yeah.
meets a Harness Lightning,
Well,
doing
that
no
was
pummeling
Voltaic
today.
Brawler, actually.
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry, that's a pretty good. Like it's a 4/3 trample for 2 mana. It's really good.
And
It's
he
an
had like a
amazing
tune of the
creature.
Aether first.
Yeah, so that guy would have been hitting for 4 for the next 5 6 turns. You know, he probably has other. So he went. Yeah, that's really good.
And we actually see Nahiri in James's
Wow.
hand, so another tune of the Aether.
Sure.
I was actually expecting Lathnu Helion, that's why I said they
Oh, the
could be
hasty.
haste.
I don't see one in this list
I don't see
though.
one in this either. It's in the sideboard, actually. So no haste
Yeah,
game one.
dodges the slower removal. It's also a little bit too big for Harness Lightning to take out all by
Initially,
itself.
yeah.
Um,
It just would have been interesting if, like, had he had.
Invigorated Rampage, something I'm seeing in quite a few aggressive lists. That +4 in trample is nice. It's really
Yeah,
nice.
it's basically the second larger than life at instant speed.
Yeah,
So
I like that. It's that instant speed larger than life. No
the other
toughness
thing
buff,
is,
but not relevant when your opponent's dying.
yeah, the other thing is, if you have multiple creatures, you can give multiple creatures trample because it can split +2
Hmm.
+0 for 2 creatures trample, I think.
A lot more versatile than larger than life. That instant speed in the multiple modes
Yeah, like larger than life is
makes it a
fine
better
when you're trying
spell.
to combo with Pummeler, but because it's not instant speed, it's not the most impressive.
Yeah. I think now that takes the first, it eats those
In
four
fact, like
slots, and then
looking
larger
through
than life
his
comes second.
list, yeah,
That is exactly what's happening here. He's playing uh, the red card first, and then only 2 copies of larger than life.
and we do see Nahiri being dissolved, and Miguel not having a creature on board
Is not great here.
means this Nahiri is probably gonna get out of hand, and I
Yeah,
don't see how he can deal it 6 damage in one
I
turn
think James is
without
on the play
haste.
here, so he's up 1 mana, and yeah, that Nahiri is probably gonna. What does James finish with here?
He finishes with Gyalk.
He's gonna find the
There's
Gear Hulk.
no,
Yeah, no
it's not
big
like
fat
one of
ugly thing.
Ulamog. If there was Emrakul, you could have an
It's not
argument to have
happening.
one Emrakul main board. But it's probably gonna be just Gyalks and towers. The thing is though, like Miguel does land this
A
Hydra,
bristling Hydra.
and Bristling Hydra is very good in
He's
this
got
type of
8
matchup.
energy, so he's got two hexproof activations. Can become a 6 powered creature, which
He
is
also has
big enough.
Blossoming Defense in hand, so
Uh-huh.
I
He could
feel,
deal with a Nahiri,
yeah,
actually.
I think James' deck isn't exactly equipped to deal with
Or he's got to spend
the
multiple
Hydra.
removal spells at instant speed on that Hydra. Or the first one could be sorcery, and then the rest he's got to follow up with instant speed.
Although like Nahiri is getting to 8 this turn, it's not exiling the Hydra anyway because it's not tapped. So he dealing 8 damage to it. It's possible. It is the Pummeler deck. But I'd feel dealing 8 damage to my opponent's face could be more relevant.
I think he can just erase it here. Seems good. He's rummaging, discarding, and is that an
That's a
alchemist's
collective
greeting?
defiance,
Oh
I
no,
believe.
it's a collective defiance. Sure.
Like that card is also pretty strong.
Miguel's sitting a bit heavy on lands there. He's got another 2 mountains in his hand. Um, James with Gearhulk, 5 mana. I don't think he has a 6th land drop just yet. Nahiri on 8 loyalty. Miguel's sitting with 8 energy. Um, and he's having a good think about his life here. Of course, he's playing the land, but
The
Got
question
other
here
things to think
is,
about. No, it only
if
had the
I'm a
one land.
god,
It doesn't
right,
have the two mons.
you have to be thinking your opponent's playing
Just gotta get
Fumigate.
the phone here for a second. Hello? Hello?
You have to be worried about Fumigate if you're Miguel at this point. Because your opponent's playing needy. Your opponent's probably playing a control deck. Ooh,
Hmm.
not attacking. Doesn't want
Yeah,
doesn't want his Hydra to
he need to
die.
try and exile it. I don't think it will though. The hexproof is very good, but I think he's gonna try and get some like I don't know, main phase removal spells out of James here. With the hexproof on
Well,
the
the thing is,
hydras.
Nahidi could just ulti.
She can do it right now. But what is he gonna fetch? Because if Ulamog,
Oh, yeah, okay, sure. There's no
he doesn't
real
know.
target to
But I
fetch.
mean, what is the best thing to fetch with Nahiri right now? It's Ulamog.
Well, in theory, yes, it would
But he
probably
doesn't
be
have those in
Ulamog,
his
but he doesn't have
decks.
that in his deck. So, and also, like, I suppose even Ulamog would, because he has two Hydras, you could just ignore Ulamog, go around Ulamog basically, and then give one Hydra 10 power and double strike. That
Yeah,
seems
that'd finish him real quick. Does
seems
he
pretty
have
strong.
the double strikes
Uncaged Fury.
instant? There it is. Four of them.
So
This
I
game
think
has slowed down, or it is very slow at the moment. No points of damage have been done. Both players just kind of staring at each other. I don't think Miguel wants to pull the trigger on those hydras just yet. He wants James to make the first mistake.
if I was in Miguel's shoes, I probably would be trying to be aggressive here, just because he has 11 energy.
Yeah.
That's three activations on Hydras. Like Nahidi is, James could spend his entire turn trying to kill a Hydra, and it wouldn't die. Nahidi's
Yeah,
minus is
Nahiri's
not killing
going
it.
up. He's rummaging some more. He's got a Gearhawk in hand. It looks like he's actually in shape to start racing here because he's got Fiery Temper plus Gearhawk, so that's 6 and leaves you with a 5-6 body.
And Miguel just stopped taking lands.
Not having a good time. He does have two very strong creatures down though, and James's spot removal is a little bit anemic in this situation. That Harness Lightning in his hand is it's not great here. I don't think he has any energy.
And yeah, we're gonna see the attack.
Oh, here they go. Oh, he's thinking about it. Sure, moving to combat, and he's sending it at James's face.
I don't see a point in trying to kill Nahidi.
Yeah, she's
If you
look.
didn't
She's
try
gonna
and kill her
get
the
what she's
turn
gonna get
before,
anyway. Skywhale is shot in the front of James's hand. Fiery Temp. He's got a lot of removal, but I don't think he wants to spend all three of those cards on one Hydra. That seems really bad.
even if he spends all three cards, it's not killing the Hydra because he has
Yeah.
12 energy. That's 4 activations.
He's just got to take it here. That is
And
a very odd situation to be in. He's got 3 removal spells, and he just has to take the 8
if
damage.
Miguel has double Uncaged Fury,
He dies.
which he does,
He dies right here.
I think. Well, I saw a red card. I'm not sure. It could be Uncaged Fury. It could be Invigorated Rampage. And it's just straight up lethal. One on each.
I
They
think
both hit for
James
10.
is just dead here. Oh, yeah. That's okay. So we're moving to damage here. James says no blocks.
So if I'm Miguel, my sequencing here is
Fury,
+1/+1 counter on one of my Hydras.
Oh, Fury gives +1/+1.
Sure.
With +1 and
I
double
first
strike.
want to see though, like if James has an actual thing because he's moving, no blocks declared, moving to damage. +1/+1 counter because he can still stop 3 spells by having 9 energy
Sure.
back. +1/+1.
And
See
he
if it
might have
dissolves.
counter magic.
Has hexproof. Maybe that means maybe James has counter magic. I'll try one double strike thing first.
Yeah.
Dissolves. Cool. I'll try the other
second
one.
I think.
Okay,
I think
I only actually see
I put
one
I
Uncaged
put them
Fury.
both down. What is the? So he's got one in the front of his hand.
No, that's Invigorated Rampage, I believe, actually, in the front
Oh,
of his
sure.
hand.
Which is also lethal. You could play
Yeah.
Rampage and Uncaged Fury on one,
And then it's lethal,
also kill
so...
him. But he's got a Gearhawk, and he's going to use that as a block. He didn't say no blockers.
Okay,
We
sure.
haven't moved past that yet. He's going to anticipate, get a blocker down.
We actually see this one of Geist Blast. Believe it's one of.
Geist Blast in the main deck. What? What is the card? Is it 2 damage for 3 mana? 3 damage for 3 mana.
I think this is actually just lethal. James is
Well,
one
he's
blocker,
got a blocker.
but
But
he
he
only
can
has
push
one
through.
blocker,
He can push through a
and
lot of
Miguel's
damage
pushing
now.
through 10 damage double strike
Yeah, he can
on
just
the
go to town.
unblocked
He's
guy.
got trample. He's got double strike.
He
He's
could
got
actually, in theory, because he has double
he's got 4
invigorated
activations
rampage.
on
Yeah,
the bristling
because
hydras
he
as
has
well.
double invigorated rampage, he could double strike the guy that's being blocked and
Yeah, and
still
still
kill
get through.
James. I think these hydras are just so powerful in the matchup. It's actually ridiculous.
What is he doing here? James has a lot to think about, but I don't think any decision he makes here
I don't think anything is
does
really
much.
just because we know Miguel's hand.
Okay, so there's the
Obviously,
invigorating rampage. +4, so that's an 8 power hydra. And he's got 2 activations easily on it, giving it
yeah.
double strike. He needs to activate it once.
And then yes, like I think James's out was if
Double
you have the
strike,
double strike, I lose anyway.
scoop. And then he activates it. I think he's just gonna pick up his cards. Yep.
Cool. And that was game one.
Yeah, one punch. Just single hit from the Hydra and you die.
That's actually a good name for this deck. One punch deck.
One punch, yeah. This Pummeler is one punch, man. We do know this. What are these
One
guys
punch.
side
That's so
look
terrible.
Like? 1, 2, 3. Miguel's a very simple sideboard here. 1 natural state, 2 appetites, 4 lightnings, 4 helions, 4 shocks.
I think he's just like being prepared for the supposed Sahili combo, which I still don't think is a
just put
thing.
in the lightnings and the shocks and we're done.
I actually think
adds
Helion's
extra
very,
pressure
very
here,
good because of haste.
it gets around.
But maybe you won't put them in on the draw.
Sure, because he's
So I
he's
think
down
it's
mana
probably.
here.
I don't even think you want harness lighting. I think you
He
just
could
want the
just leave
shocks.
his main deck as is. There's really little that 2 points of damage is going to help him with. It
Sure,
just
because like Bolt to Smash is going to do the same thing in 1 mana.
yeah, just chews at Nahiri a little bit. I don't think he needs to board anything. He's just looking at his deck.
I kind of think Pummeler isn't as good as Lathno Helion and Bristling Hydra. So,
yeah, Bristling Hydra is by far the all-star here. And
so for me, I'd maybe replace the Pummelers with Helions because they're the same mana cost and Helion has haste.
yeah, it hits
So you're
harder,
already hitting.
and you have to commit less into it. Because James has spot removal, he could blow you out if you have a long sequence of spells pumping the Pummeler, and then you attack and he goes, "Oh, I'm just going to kill it instead." Whereas the Helion gets in immediately, and the Hydra has hexproof.
The other
But
thing is
I
like,
don't think Miguel's boarded anything. He's just yeah,
which is
whatever,
perfectly
this is my
fine.
main deck.
However, he has to be aware that James could be playing Blessed Alliance because he's playing white.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
Blessed Alliance
is
will.
real strong
I think
in
that's
this.
actually what he played around when he didn't attack the turn before when he played the second Hydra.
Sure, he wanted two
He
attackers
wanted
so he could
two
sacrifice
attackers
his Blessed
so
Alliance.
Blessed Alliance doesn't blow him out, which is probably the better
Oh.
play. So he was actually aware of it in the first place.
James's sideboard: 2 Thing in the Ice, 1 Chandra Flamecaller, Fumigate, 2 Weaver of Lightning, 2 Whirler Virtuoso, 2 Archangel Avacyn, 2 Stasis Snare, a Jace, Unraveler of Secrets, Quarantine Field, and a Gideon. It doesn't seem like there's much that would help him here.
I think
Perhaps
Thing in the
instant
Ice.
speed removal
Thing in the Ice and more
and the
removal.
Thing in the Ice.
Just because, like, Thing in the Ice, if Miguel, since Miguel didn't sideboard, and you're gonna assume he's playing a very compressed version of the deck, so it's gonna be very streamlined, going straight to my face. I'm not gonna have a lot of removal spells. You
Sure.
maybe think, okay, maybe he has a couple of Harness Lightnings, and then Thing in the Ice just needs to flip.
Just once,
It
and then he's
just needs
got
to
2
flip.
turns.
It's like,
Or so.
okay, flip. You wasted. If you're not
All of those
pumping,
pump spells, yeah.
then you're not killing me anyway, so I don't need to flip it. If you
Because
are
yeah,
pumping,
it's a block
flip
on
it.
2 mana, and if necessary, he can just turn it over and
I
make
think
his
also
opponent waste all of the
Avacyn
pump.
is pretty good to bring in as indestructible ambush viper.
Supplies blocker. That was not good there. Surprise blocker. There's an R in that word. Both guys presenting. What do we have? Miguel's got Forest and okay, James opening with a Port Town. Prairie Stream. Tapped.
And James has the hand stacked with removal.
Which I think is good here. If he can deal with the Hydras before Miguel gets any sort of energy reserve, he might be. He will still have to spend 2 spells on it, but he might get away with the Harness Lightning because Miguel might want to save the energy for the second Hydra.
Well, we see Servant of the Conduit, so
Yep,
that
looks like it resolves.
that's already a second activation of Hydra, and it's probably going to be Hydra on turn 3. Never mind. James is not taking any of that. Straight up, Harness Lightning, get rid of it.
I think he wants to keep the board clear here.
Yeah, Bolt the Bird applies. Although it's an overcosted Bolt and an overcosted Bird.
Miguel with 3 forests in hand. I don't think he has much business after this.
I feel like
Game Trail plus 3 forests. This is so he's got what, like 2 other cards in his hand. That's a Pummeler. It's probably gonna die. Like
it has to die.
it's not living.
If it lives,
It only costs James 1 energy here. I think he tries to make him. He just puts 1 into it, just 1. The Galvanic Bombardment is also quite strong here.
I think if I'm James, it's Bombardment this turn.
Yeah, right there.
Just because Harness Lightning,
It's
still-
possible that if he only pays 1 energy, whereas Galvanic Bombardment just kills it straight
Yeah.
up. I think he responded to the enters the battlefield trigger with a Galvanic Bombardment there, so he didn't have the energy to try and save it. Miguel ends up with 6 energy after that. He's got land drops for days. It looks like there's a Long Tusk Cub in his hand.
if
And
he
he's
has,
got
I think
enough-
he has a Blessing Hydra as well.
Maybe. Would you play the Cub here?
I think the Blessing Hydra is strong enough.
He's playing the Cub.
Sure.
He's trying to just
But add
get
more
out the
removal
more
spells.
removal because the Hydra's just absolutely not going to die.
Also, like, he's pretty safe because it's unlikely that James is going to basically resolve a Gyalk the next turn.
Mm.
So, at most, he can cost 2 spells.
He's also not going to kill the Long Tusk Cub until he's put some energy into it, because I don't think he just wants to kill a bear.
Yeah.
He also doesn't want it to hit. This is really good here, because James is now left in a situation where he can kill the Long Tusk Cub before Miguel spent any energy on it, or just, let it hit him and
And then
generate
get
even
more
more
energy for the Hydra. I think James kind of wants to play Dynavolt Tower here. Just because,
He's
like,
got 2 energy. The Dynavolt is a lot to activate, but there it is.
the thing is, there's no point not playing Dynavolt here. And, well,
Yeah, at least
James
it's
should
still
have 3
representing
energy, I
removal
believe,
spell.
actually, not 2. Because he had 1 energy left over from the Honest Lightning earlier. And 2 from the Glimmer, so it's 3. So his next spell, which is going to be Honest Lightning, does turn
Has a fair
on
amount of damage. Yeah.
Dynavolt Tower.
Oh, sure, it gives him enough energy. Can just use it as a ritual effect for Dynavolt Tower.
Well, no, he could use the Honest Lightning to deal 3. The 2 energy the Dynavolt Tower would
Generate
produce
of casting it sure is enough to
would
activate it.
activate it as well. So
So let's see what happens here.
just baiting out this removal spell for the cub, and then we do see the Honest
Casts
Lightning.
Harness Lightning gets a trigger. He says, okay, all of those things resolve. Is the Harness Lightning going to stick? Because once it starts resolving, he
I kind of think Miguel
gets
doesn't
to
care about
choose-
this.
Yeah, sure. It's just eating up removal. So he gets 3 energy, uses 2.
Goes up to
nets
6.
a lot off of that. And now he at least has an extra removal spell on board to try and chew at, whatever he puts down. It'll
The
kill
thing
a
is, though,
servant.
like, Miguel's playing Hydra this turn. I
Mm.
don't see him not playing Hydra this turn. Yeah, he has another Long Tusk Cub, though, but, like,
It is another Long Tusk Cub. He's just...
I think it must be Hydra this turn. To be
Yeah,
honest
there
with
we
you.
go.
His opponent
that
stepped out.
seems good.
His opponent
He's
could
got
be
his
playing
chance to
Counter
resolve
Magic.
it here, and now the Hydra's a real threat. He's got 10 energy, so that's 2 activations. No, 3.
3
That's
activations.
Pretty good.
It's
Can't
not
put
dying
Hydra
to that
7
Dynavolt
power.
Tower
No,
either.
the tower's only, 2 damage?
3 damage.
3
So
damage,
it
sure.
dies.
And
It can kill
activation
it, but
forces him to give it hexproof, but I don't think he cares.
and okay, well James does stop take another Honest Lightning, and he has a Gyalk in hand. So if he needs to, he can attempt to kill it multiple times.
Sure. He gets a fair amount of energy off of the
I
Dynavolt
think
Tower. if he
Miguel
does-
just stop take an Attune with the Aether, and he has a Long Tusk Cub in hand. So yeah, it is Attune with the Aether. Miguel's flooding out pretty badly this game. The game before as well, you saw a lot of
has
lands.
also managed to effectively use up all of James' removal. He doesn't know about any of James' cards. He's never looked at it. But outside of that Gearhulk, he's stripped out. Oh, yeah, James has another Harness Lightning in hand, actually. Uh,
But the thing is, like, is made James burn removal
a
spells
lot of it.
on things that weren't Hydra. So I think it's still effective.
Boop. Is it a lightning here? Or does he
I
just...
don't think
Yep, it's 4 points of damage.
That's 4 points of damage. If
Both
Miguel
players
tries
just
to pump,
happy
you
with
could
that.
try and make him burn energy, but there's no real point. Unless it's lethal, there's no point trying to kill the Hydra.
There's a long tusk cub. James on 16 points of life.
And James is probably just gonna kill this long tusk up, I think. He could ignore it.
Wouldn't
But
be a good idea. It's just going to generate too much
yeah.
energy.
So maybe kill it in Miguel's turn, but if Miguel rips something like a Blossoming Defense, you may as well Blossoming Defense the cub, make James waste even more removal.
I think James would just die then. Blossoming Defense gives +2, and he could grow the cub.
But he has no double strike, so he can't really
Sure.
kill instantly.
Puts the cub to... He's on 12 energy at the moment.
The thing is, though, because yeah, he has to do it this turn. Miguel just needs to let it die, I feel.
And that's what he does.
Well, they say lightning doesn't strike the same place
twice. Hey?
But we just saw 2 honest lightnings and 2 long tusk cubs.
So maybe they should review that saying.
Like, yes, they weren't the same exact card, but they were the same creature.
I'm not going to dignify that with a response.
And, like, each attune with the Aether Miguel is getting is actually
it's just making the Hydra better.
just making the Hydra better, which is kind of funny because
Hydra
it's like,
is so good.
normally it's like, okay,
And he doesn't need to commit anything into it. He just keeps going 4, 4. He's asking the question, what are you going to do about this? Because it's a 5-turn clock, and I don't have to do anything. I've got board presence. You've got to react now. James sitting with 1 card in hand. It's a Gearhulk. And Miguel he's got a grip full, so it looks really frightening.
so you're the Gearhulk coming down. He's targeting.
I think James might have a
Glimmer of
land
Genius
as well, but essentially just the Gearhulk.
He's definitely wanting at least the 8th up. Does he want to anticipate? I suppose he does.
It's something. That's another Gearhulk, I think.
Yeah. So James is gonna move the blocks here.
Yeah,
Miguel's gonna
sure.
pump 3 times.
Miguel's got a tune and some lands in hand, I think. So he does want to save his Hydra. But he can. He's got 2, 3, 4 activations on it.
He can just save it, like, literally, it's 3 activations.
I wouldn't want to spend that much energy saving it, though.
The thing is, you have to.
It's his only body.
It's his only body.
So he activates
The first
once.
activation stops Dynavolt from working.
Yeah.
The second activation makes it, like, he's just gonna grow it out of Dynavolt Tower Edge. That's all it is.
Activates it
So,
once.
Pumping it 3 times is fine.
He's still got 1 more activation left after that. And
Yeah.
a tune with Ether in hand. Again. Just allowing these things to resolve. 3rd time. And the Gearhulk just dies. And now that is a 7 power
It's a
Hydra.
7/6, so it doesn't die to a lot.
Doesn't die to anything really. He's got Skywhaler shot. Maybe he might have bought it in Stasis Snare as well.
The thing is, the girl can target a Honest Lightning and then it can possibly kill it.
Yeah, sure. If James deals with the Hydra, I think he's in a reasonable position because it doesn't look like Miguel has much in hand.
The scary thing about this energy deck, though, even though Miguel's been flooding, just 1 creature that's stuck around is basically making James' entire play. Like, he has to deal with the Hydra, or else he just can't win. That's what it's looking like at the moment.
Does have another Gearhulk.
And yeah, we're gonna see Wandering Funeral tapped, I believe.
This is quite tense. But yeah, I think he's gonna play the funeral. There's no reason not to.
He could maybe want double white. Does he have an 8th hub? I don't know if he has an 8th hub. He has a pretty stream though, so he has double white anyway.
The Fumigate would be pretty nice. Yeah, I don't think he brought it in. Does he have any main deck?
He doesn't have any main deck. I think he should have brought it in.
Yeah,
if
it's
he
a way
didn't,
to kill
yeah, because
the
like
Hydra with no interaction.
his
Or that
opponent
his
has
opponent can't
hexproof
interact.
in his deck, so
You want
I think it's the
non-targeted
safest
removal.
way.
Untaps with a Hydra. Because he peeled another creature to sub conduit.
Well, the servant just produces energy,
2 forests
so that
in his
means,
hand.
oh hey, look, I have another
for the
activation.
Hydra. He's got to burn 2 removal spells on and hard removal because he is. I mean, that's a lot of toughness. 6 toughness at the moment.
Interesting to note here that like if Miguel does attack, James can flash in Gyalk
And use the Dynaval Tower
use the
to,
Dynaval
to
Tower.
burn the rest of the damage away. And then Miguel doesn't have any threats on board. James doesn't know, but Miguel's only got 2 forests left in his hand. I can't see James's hand. It's a Inspiring Vantage, another Gear Hulk, and something, a blue card, possibly a land.
Well, actually, the only way for James to actually get this done now is basically Miguel has to attack. James has to go Gyalk targeting Harness Lightning. Then Miguel has to go, okay, give my guy Hexproof. James has to go, okay, cool. In response, Dynaval Tower your guy. And then Miguel has to go Hexproof again. James has to probably take the hit because Double Strike's going to kill him anyway. Trample's going to deal him X amount of damage anyway. And then top second removal spell for the Hydra when Miguel has no energy.
Yeah, if he deals with a Hydra, he'll be in a good position though. But Miguel has been taking a lot of lands out of his deck. I think he actually has more than James does. James on 6, 7, 8. Miguel's on
7,
but he's got
but
2
he's got
in
2 in
hand.
hand. Yeah.
What is the last card in James's hand? I can't see it. It's
Inspiring
Vantage, Gearhulk. Oh, and they anticipate that he got
off the Glimmer
off
of
the
Genius.
Glimmer. And Miguel's got land.
I feel like if James is trying to play for wait for another removal spell, to top basically top take the removal spell.
He should really be making a decision here, though.
He's I think
way too long. I think there's a judge standing just next to the table. Might just poke him. No, he's just walked away.
Like it's pretty complicated though, so you can't really. Yes, he needs to make a decision, but it is a hard decision to make. Because yeah, like James could just be dead. He doesn't know.
Yeah, it's potentially
it's
a double strike and an invigorating rampage.
Because he has 5 mana open. That's 3 mana for +1/+0 double strike and 2 mana for
trample and
+4. And because it's instant speed, like this deck actually
it's so tricky.
Got a lot better from a common from the set, basically.
Okay, so he activates it, and he marks 3 points of damage on the Hydra. This is Miguel's combat, I believe.
So Miguel's deciding whether or not to give his guy hexproof. I don't see a reason not to.
Oh no, I think he's lost it here, because now he has to cast the Harness Lightning at that moment, and Miguel has 1 more activation.
No, I think he's fine.
He should have flashed it in, blocked.
No, this is fine. This was his only out, because now Miguel's burning out all of his energy. James still hasn't anticipated, so he looks through the next 4 cards to find an answer for this.
And gets some energy as well.
Yeah, and gets energy.
He doesn't have the mana to play anticipate.
No, I'm saying for his next turn, because this Hydra isn't lethal. This is James's only out to make sure he doesn't die.
Sure.
So like if he's dying anyway. This is the only way he can get back into the game.
Hopefully he finds a hard removal spell.
And yeah, James taking.
A lot of damage there. It's 8 points of damage, putting him down to 8. Which is fine, I suppose, because he dies to
I
whatever.
think they've missed the Blasphemous encounter here. There was 5 activations so far.
Ah, it was 7 power. I think they're just pointing it out now.
It should be a 9 power creature at this point. And yeah, we are actually getting the correction.
Sure, so they're just...
Wait, what? Why is it going?
I'm not sure.
Why
I
is
think
it
he's
going
just
down?
stepping back.
Sure, it goes up 1.
It was on 3. He's just explaining it was attacking you for that much. Went to 4. And now it's on 5. Okay, so James is actually on 1 less point of life.
It's on 7. So James has to have either a Gyalk, Honest Lightning,
He's got a lot of energy. I'm not sure
or
exactly how much that is, but
Skywhaler
it's a
Shot
fair amount. The
in the
Skywhaler
next
Shot would
3
help him.
cards.
Stasis Snare could also be good. Even a Fumigate here would put him back in the
Yeah,
game.
I'd take the Fumigate.
And then he can start applying pressure with his Wandering Fumarole. What is that? It's Anticipate. It's going to find him another card, get him some energy.
And we see Honest Lightning. And that should be enough to kill this Hydra at this point.
So I don't think we've moved to blockers yet. James might not have taken
No,
the
this
damage.
is, he took the damage.
Oh, he's
this
untapped. He's
turn.
untapped.
Yeah.
He took the damage. Because the Gearhulk's still around, so he couldn't possibly have blocked.
So we'll see what James takes here. I think he has to take.
I think it might just be the lightning, and
he has to
put all the energy into killing that Hydra. His opponent has 2 cards in hand, but he's just got to do it. Else, it's just too much value off of that Hydra.
I mean, if I'm in James' position here, I'm thinking, well, if you had the Blossoming Defense, I would cost it. By now, like burning through that much energy just to save your Hydra seems a bit loose. And he does take the Honest Lightning. And yeah, we see like James'
fire.
James' experience in playing Magic, because he's been playing for such a while, long time now, basically, has put him in a position where he is looking likely to come back from this. Where, because Miguel's flooding out. Miguel, I don't think he sided in any haste creatures.
Game 3 might bring something in, but now the Hydra's dead. James still got a little bit of energy left. I'm not sure how much. And he's got a Torrential Gearhulk on board. So he's got 9 power to swing with. Possibly more if he gets another 2 lands to wake up.
I don't think you want to swing into this, like,
into
leave yourself
what?
open.
If he kills the
okay, if he kills the servant, okay,
his
sure.
opponent is completely open.
I thought he had less than the amount of energy required to
I'd
activate
just be attacking for 9 a turn here.
Like,
just to try and finish it off.
You can't attack with a Funeral this turn though.
But next
turn.
And his opponent is removal light, really.
He's no
removal. Really just a pressure deck.
Has 0 removal.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
He's
Honest Lightning in the sideboard, which I very much doubt he's brought in.
And Miguel top deck the land.
Oh.
So that's like been the story of
James
this match.
James read this very well. He knew his opponent had nothing but that creature, else he would have seen it.
So yeah, I don't even think James wants to play Thing in the Ice. He just wants to reveal what he has.
But he's going to.
Oh, is he going to? I don't think he needs to.
Smash for 5.
Oh, it actually could be an Avacyn. No, it's a Thing in the Ice. And then holding up mana. I feel like he should have attacked for 4 as well. I mean, like Miguel's on.
Change the clock.
Yeah, the clock's.
You can still do it next turn.
2-turn clock. Sure, and Honest Lightning doesn't do it for Miguel. Can't kill the.
Anything really. He's only got 1 energy. He can kill the thing, which he doesn't want to do. Oh, Miguel on 15 points of life there. 10?
Yes, he took an attack last turn when. And yeah, we see the Pummeler, which is just too late.
That guy's just gonna get toasted by the Dynavolt Tower, really.
I don't think James has a Galvanic Bombardment.
Sure. So he can use the tower on his face.
Yeah, I suppose like getting that extra energy doesn't do anything.
It doesn't do anything. He's still got 2 damage that goes onto it.
I think he needs to bombard this. It's no reason not to. If Miguel had his Blossoming Defense, whatever, Dynavolt.
Yeah, it's wasted.
Because okay, so there's energy. Targets have been improved. Sure, it dies, and this is probably game.
Can he wake up both? Yeah, he's got a tower activation, wakes up the fumarole, attacks him for 9, burns for 3 with the tower. Don't think there's too much thought to be put into it. He's just making sure that he's got the right mana up to represent whatever. Yeah, his opponent's picking it up. That's it. We're moving to game 3.
I think definitely for me, Pummeler comes out this game.
It seems bad.
Like, oh, it dies to every
It's
single one of
really
James'
expensive.
removal.
It's 3 mana.
Doesn't
and
have
it just
haste.
dies. What is it? So I think here Miguel definitely brings in Lafnuhelion and takes out the Pummeler.
I don't think Miguel could one shock just for that last bit of reach.
Little bit.
But
James wasn't particularly low.
because I also think larger than life being sorcery speed is poop. Especially since you're taking out your pummelers anyway, so you kind of have 2 extra
He
spots.
could probably bring in the appetites, just to kill the.
Well, natural state does the same thing. Appetite hits Gyalk as well, though. So maybe appetite's the real card.
Appetite's probably better. Gives him a little bit of life, which isn't as relevant, but I think the versatility is better.
Yeah, I think it's probably gonna be 2 appetites and 4 Latin aliens. Because
it's the
you
best
can't
removal you can bring
reduce
in.
your creature count in this matchup, and Pummeler's doing nothing. It dies to every single piece of removal
Just
James
gives him
has.
3 energy.
And like, if you're gonna waste the blossoming defense in it when your best card in the match is actually Bristling Hydra, not the best.
Yeah, sure. He brought in the things. I think the Fumigate is in his deck.
It has to be. If it hasn't,
brought it in.
Like if he didn't bring Fumigate in, he probably isn't showing the Hydra enough respect. And the thing is, he's had to basically bend over backwards trying to deal with the Hydra every game.
Miguel also doesn't have anything that flies, and he's got literally no way to remove an Avacyn. So that could just finish the game.
So I think for
quickly.
me, it's the 2 things: Fumigate, 2 Avacyns.
Yeah.
And you kind of don't want cards like Collective Defiance and probably even the Geist Blast. Like, really?
Your opponent is dealing you too much damage for you to try and race him with burn spells.
Nahiri doesn't even seem that good. Be honest with you.
She's just card selection, really. I wouldn't.
The minus
feel good
when your
fetching
main threat is Bristling Hydra and your ulti's not winning you the game. It's like,
yeah, she could probably come out for some more relevant things.
Being on the draw, maybe it's a bit different, but I still think it's probably drop Nahiri, drop Geist Blast.
Yeah,
that's
he's already put in the things, but he wants Fumigate.
He wants Fumigate and Avacyn.
Possibly the Stasis Snares, but
so for me, it's Collective Defiance goes, Geist Blast goes, Nahiri goes. That's 5 cards. Bring in 5 cards, 2 thing in the house, 1 Fumigate, 2 Archangel Avacyn. That seems fine.
Clean enough.
The other thing is, like, you can't let the game go on forever in this matchup. Because if Miguel gets James low enough and does bring in Lafnuhelion,
it's
just like, okay, die. By mistake, I've been drawing pump spells the entire game. I have no creatures, you want to load up life total. Die.
Oops. Lafnuhelion off the top. Does work. Miguel's got... Oh, those shiny sleeves are really tough to see through. It's a couple of lands. 2 of them, Voltaic, Brawler, Attune with Ether, which seems to be his turn 1 play. 2 Voltaic Brawlers. Some lands Attune with Ether.
I feel he's been getting far too many lands
and a game trail.
Every single game.
Well, he made the best of it with the first game.
I feel not sideboarding was a bit too overconfident, in the matchup.
He had enough information about his opponent's deck to make an informed decision. James with Anticipate, 2 dual lands, a thing in ice, and 2 Anticipates actually. So he's got some card selection, enough land drops for the next few turns, and a thing, which is, I think, going to do a fair amount of work in this game.
Does nothing against Brawler though. It's not blocking.
Yeah, that's fine. He probably just kills the Brawler the turn after he plays the thing.
Yeah, with the Fiery Temper you just drew. Although Miguel's playing another Brawler this turn. Probably. Or a Helion. If he gets a Helion off the top, that's a big
just
foul.
Slam it and start going to town on James's face.
Yet again, flooding out.
Yeah, he's not having a great time with his draws here. On 4 energy. He's gonna feed it one of the energy. Where did he get out from the attune? Sure. Yeah, the Brawler's punching for 4 for the next, like, for the foreseeable future. Another Brawler. Puts into 5.
So
James has a problem. James is on 16 at the moment.
James must believe here that Miguel has blossoming defense. Why else? Well, that's what should be telegraphed by revealing a land to play a land untapped. I think it's a bolt to smash actually.
He's got some sort of pump spell. Some way to grow his creature out of harnessed lightning range. I do think James should have done it right there, because making your opponent spend pump or protection in there in your turn is a lot better for you.
So think infect.
Yeah, same thing really. At the end of your opponent's turn, kill his creatures or do it in your own turn. Because if he has protection, you're going to waste your removal. He's got no reason to pump these creatures, he just turns them sideways, and James, the onus is on James to reduce the removal. Doesn't have the mana for harness light. Oh, he didn't have a harness lightning actually. That's why he didn't do it. He's still got the Nahiris in the deck.
I feel that top deck Nahiri seems
a little weak. He's gonna anticipate for another land and then probably try and
Nahiri
exile one of the Voltaic Brawlers.
The thing is though, like,
that last Nihilion is killing him. He just found one off the top, played it, and
no, I actually think he had the last Nihilion in the last turn. He just didn't play it because
he wanted to play the second Brawler. This is a lot of damage coming at James. He's going to be forced to block it. This is 16. It's lethal. On board.
No, it's only 12 on board.
Oh, he hasn't paid.
Yep.
Okay,
he has paid. He has paid. So it's 4,
4, 8, and 12. Sorry.
4,
no,
so it's 12.
Not 16.
It's putting James down to 4, so I think he's kind of has to block. He's just taking it.
Doesn't look like he's paid for any of these the Voltaic Brawler triggers. Oh no, he has. He's on 3. Looked like the dice was on 5 there.
So James goes down to 4. And this is the turn where he kind of has to deal with everything. And
if he can cast 3 spells, which I don't think he can, because he's got too little mana for that.
I think he can cast
Anticipate perhaps into another Galvanic Bombardment, play both bombardments, flip the thing in the ice, crack in for 9. Would put him in that position.
He wouldn't want to do that. Well, if he Galvanic Bombard's the Helion, then sure.
James took 10 points of damage there.
12.
No, he used the 2 mana to pay for the.
No, yeah, he was on 7.
7 and
Helion
sure.
Produces.
So he took.
So he goes to 4
points of damage. James is on 4. Ow! Yeah, he's really going to cost a lot of spells here. He's dead if he doesn't. He's got Anticipate and Galvanic Bombardment. He can block one of the creatures. Anything that gets through is lethal here. So we cast Anticipate.
Any 1 mana spell. Anything. We got Galvanic Bombardment.
There it is.
He's got
a second Galvanic Bombardment, and I think he's gonna. I wouldn't spend it on.
You have to hit.
Got to cost them.
He has to get
killing
them.
The Voltaic Brawlers is good.
No, he has to kill the Helion.
Both at the Helion.
Because both. The Helion has haste.
Yeah, and then he pushes the Voltaic Brawlers back to Miguel's hand.
Yeah.
And attacks for 9. Another Helion off the top though does kill him. Does James play around that?
I don't think you can. To be honest with you, because if Miguel has pump spells,
he can leave a 9/7 up to block. It's a big creature.
If Miguel has like blossoming defense here, the Helion just lives. Ooh, he's going to do it.
Oh, being tricksy here. Giving his opponent another chance to draw a protection spell. And there, it's the blossoming defense off the top.
The thing here, though, is Miguel has to probably try and weather it out.
Bad. No, but he should have just killed it right there and then.
Well, the thing is, the thing is that he's still going to flip.
Because the spell's
It's still going to save him a turn. The problem is the Helion isn't going to die. That's the real problem.
Goes back to James' hand, though. I mean, Miguel's hand. He can't respond to the payment. Only the trigger being placed on the stack. But once the payment happens, it's too late to respond. So it's got 3 toughness.
I think it's going a bit too fast here. It should have declared targets.
Doesn't particularly matter though,
Yeah.
because the second galvanic bombardment flips the horror before it deals the damage, so the
Sure.
creatures will be back in his hand anyway. Miguel is he doesn't need to use the hexproof. He might just make a mistake in this situation, but I don't think he even cares. He just lets it happen.
Yeah. So Miguel's like, well, that's
He
cool.
might have gotten some advantage of playing the first galvanic bombardment when the Voltaic Brawler triggers went on the stack.
Yeah, he
'Cause
could
it
have
forces-
killed one of them
It
and
forces
Miguel to play
use
as
the
well.
blossoming defense, and then he can kill the other one with the second galvanic bombardment, flip them over. James can't attack here.
Well, the thing is, Miguel just plays both brawlers again.
Mhm.
Has the mana to do so.
He can rebuild his board so quickly.
And then the next turn he just has a haste 4/4 with James on 4.
Oh, he just cast both brawlers. Plenty of energy as well. Doesn't feel great, but it was the only thing James could do there. What does he get? Just another removal spell.
He top decks in his batting advantage, which doesn't do anything.
Does
Tap
he have any
land.
card selection in hand? Another anticipate, perhaps?
He has a Skywhaler shot,
Which kills the Helion.
but the problem with that is he still dies because he's on 4.
Yeah, sure. He doesn't have the mana to cast.
Also,
both
he's
those
not aware
spells.
that Miguel has Blossoming Defense, which we are aware of. So yeah, I'm pretty sure James is dead.
Regardless, even without drawing something great, he's just dead on board.
I think if Nahidi
Essentially.
was another card, it could have been. He could have been okay,
Nahiri definitely should have come out there.
especially being on the draw.
Yeah, he knows it. That's the game 2-1 to Miguel.
Yeah,
James scooping to too much damage and Lafnu Helion in hand.
that energy deck is just so
It's
fast.
very fast, and you can rebuild your board so quickly. The bounce effects, not great really. Any sort of sorcery speed removal feels,
You could say
feels
all other
crap.
decks look lethargic.
yeah, it's
Basically.
too fast. You get on the ground and you're dealing 12 points of damage by turn 4. It's a lot, and you've had the brawler
Hit for
attacking
4 already.
for a turn, possibly 2, because you play it on turn 2. You hit for it in turn. Yeah, it's just 4 damage already. 12 points into your opponent's 16 points
So like
of
we
life.
we did see him take out the larger than
He
life.
put in the natural state. He took out the larger than lives.
I do think he should have taken out the Pummelers though, because
Yeah.
for me Pummeler
it was just not
just
that great.
doesn't look
But I
that
think
good
he
in the
went
match.
up on creatures just so he could tax his opponent's
Yeah.
removal a little bit more.
Also, I think it got to him game 2 when he flooded out and saw no creatures at all,
yeah,
basically.
it felt bad. That Hydra
So-
did do a lot of work though, but he really needed to draw just one more thing and not
Like,
land
Hydra's
all the time.
the strongest card in the matchup. Full stop.
Yeah, it chews up so much removal. It also makes your opponent much less willing to try and kill it. It's just like, oh, we'll grow it until you're out of energy, and then I'll think about dealing with it because I don't want to get blown out.
Yeah. And the thing is, you can just take damage.
Yeah, so that was round 3.
Yeah. Round 3, one more round left, and then top 4, I think.
Yeah,